to everybody. Thank you very much to Gina Roxas, and your kind introduction is met with similar kindness on my part, a belief in what we're doing here. I think we all share the feeling that something important is really happening right here today. Thank you to the wonderful dancers and to the Iron Bear singers. Thank you for sharing the beauty of your culture and your traditions through song and dance. I really am honored to be here at the Pritzker Cultural Center alongside Representative Maurice West and Representative Mark Walker, Representative Michelle Mussman, Senator Laura Murphy, Senator Gloria Hilton, the chairperson of the Prairie Band Potawatomi Tribal Council, Joseph Zeke Rupnick, and so many local leaders here and national leaders that have joined us today. We are here to celebrate 3 new laws that we will enact today to support, to uplift, and to protect Illinois' Native American communities. Here in Illinois, we believe in justice, and we won't hide from the truth. The Buell House is a site on the Cherokee Trail of Tears. The Pierre Menard home was once home to a French-Canadian businessman and fur trader who ruled over local Native American reservations. The Kincaid Mounds contains the remains of a destroyed Native American city. All 3 of these sites are located within our state's borders, and they represent some of the ugliest parts of our history. It's up to us to right the wrongs of the past and to chart a new course, one that educates our people so we won't repeat the sins of the past. It's a past that we must now be accountable for, that we must fight for equity and inclusion to make sure that we are living up to our ideals. Today, we take another step forward to repair generations of harm and to build a brighter future for our state's Native American and Indigenous peoples. For decades, activists, Native Americans, Illinois Department of Natural Resources alike have been advocating for legislation that sets into law the proper treatment of Native remains on state land. Well, in just a few moments, I will proudly sign HB 3413, establishing the Human Remains Protection Act and directing the Department of Natural Resources to create state burial sites in collaboration with tribal nations, while increasing criminal penalties for those who disturb human burial sites, remains, and grave artifacts. Though she's no longer with us, I'd like to recognize our former Illinois State Museum Director, Cinnamon Kaplan Legutko, a once-in-a-generation advocate who helped to make this bill a reality. May the memory of her continue to bless us all. Cinnamon was an educator at heart and believed it was critical that young Illinoisans learn the truth about our history so they can grow into informed and compassionate citizens of today and tomorrow. So I think she would be pleased to know that I will also sign HB 1633, amending the school code and adding Native American history to the genocide and Holocaust instructional requirements for graduation from high school in Illinois, all while creating a curriculum advisory council and task force to review and recommend supplemental resources for Native American history instruction. It's also true that Native American students deserve to represent their heritage in the way that they present themselves. This seems like a given to me, but in Senator Susie Glowiak-Hilton's district, a student was denied the opportunity to walk to his graduation ceremony because he was wearing culturally significant Native American regalia on his graduation cap. That's just wrong. That student, Nimki Curley, is here with us today. And to Nimki, thank you for being a catalyst for change. You should never have been denied the opportunity to walk alongside your classmates, and we will all work tirelessly to protect and expand your right to be who you are. So I will sign SB 1446 to prohibit school boards from having policies that infringe on the rights of students to wear or accessorize graduation attire with items associated with their cultural, ethnic, or religious identity, including any other protected category identified in the Illinois Human Rights Act. And a huge thank you to Senator Susie Globiak-Hilton for bringing this critical issue to our attention and making sure that this bill landed on my desk, in fact, on this desk today. To every activist, to every organizer, tribal leader, and legislator who made today possible, thank you for your unyielding efforts to make sure that accurate history is told and protected. I know that for many of you, it's been a very long road to get here. And I remain committed to ensuring our Native American communities are heard, seen, and respected. With that, I'd like to turn it over to a champion for Native American rights and one of the most respected members of the General Assembly, Representative Mark Walker.
Thank you, Governor Pritzker. I knew when I worked on this bill that it would find a nice home on his desk. This is a man who leads with his heart and has intelligence to get things done. It is a man who does not shy away from looking at real history, looking at our shortcomings, and figuring out a way in the future to fix them. This is a man that is not afraid of education. This is a wonderful person, and that's one of the things we have to have in our leadership at all levels. The bill that I worked on is about reinterring human remains. For 200 years, people in Illinois and Illinois Territory have somehow found the need to dig up Indian remains, Indian mounds, Indian towns, Indian villages. They, at first, even in the 18th century, were thinking they were going to discover treasure. There is a tribe, hopefully here, that was subject to that awful experience there, and started the NAGPRA process whereby Indian remains and Indian artifacts have to be repatriated to their tribes. For years, mounds were dug up on Sunday afternoons with Illinois families who thought it was teaching their children science. To dig up Indian remains, to take the necklaces around grandmothers' throats and sell them in local curio shops and put the bones on shelves in museums. This is our history. That has changed. That has changed with this bill, that has changed with the activists in this room, that has changed among the museums and at universities. It has changed in the general public. It is very rare that a person in government can be part of a process that actually slightly moves the arc of history. This slightly moves the arc of history. Now, rather than digging up, we put back where we found it. Rather than doing it on our own for our own wealth, we get together with the people that are emotionally invested, historically and culturally invested, and decide together what best to do. Rather than ignore the heroes of the past and the people of the past that created America, we honor them. I especially asked today for the drum to be here, and I appreciate the drum and all the drummers and singers. When I heard the drum, I closed my eyes and thought of all the heroes, and the reason I did that was American Indians, Native Americans produce the most volunteers for our military of any group in the country by far. And part of this Pritzker organization, you'll see honors to that history. Our fellow people from Illinois who fought with us to defend America must be treated with respect and must be honored. And I honor them, and I thank you so much to be part of this. Thank you so much. And of course, I forgot my real task here, and that is to introduce Senator Gloria Kilton, who is the Senate sponsor of the Education and Regalia Bill, which focuses on the future and the future achievements of our friends and neighbors. Thank you.
I'm so proud and humbled to be here in this wonderful community. It is so warm and welcoming and passionate. I am happy to support and uplift and really protect this community and see what we can do moving forward. The two bills that I did work on, one having to do with Native American regalia being able to be worn at ceremonies, graduation ceremonies in schools. I really want to make certain that you know that this bill has a face. Not all the bills that I work on have a real person, a real face, a real reason that I worked on this bill. And the reason is here today with us, Nimby Curley. And he's sitting right over here. Thank you so much. Thank you for your courage and your bravery and making sure that you were able to make me understand how you felt and why this was so important for you and the whole community. Thank you very much. And in the same vein, in supporting and uplifting the community and protecting the community, let's talk about Native American history. Why have we not been celebrating this community in our schools and teaching the educational, really important educational things that have happened over the centuries? It's about time that we did this. It's finally going to be put into all of our schools, and the resources will be provided by the community so that the teachers will be able to understand exactly how to teach it and what to teach, which is really the most important thing. I worked on these two bills. I'm really proud to have carried them and brought them to the governor, and I'm really proud that he's going to be signing them today. I also worked on these bills because the bill doesn't just go through the Senate, it also has to come through the House. And so I worked with Representative West, who is here today, who I'm going to introduce. Thank you so much for your time.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I am so thankful to be here. To Governor Pritzker, I want to first thank you for shedding light on this and allowing us to have a ceremony for the signage of these three bills rather than signing it behind the scenes, because we want to celebrate not just with you, Governor, but with everyone who was here, not just with everyone who was here, but also with everyone who's watching on the live stream. So thank you so much. I came into this arena of working on the Native American History Bill back in 2019 when I started with a bill that was focused on Native American mascots. Back in Rockford, up northern point of Illinois, there was a high school that had students that were doing a petition drive to get rid of the inaccuracy of their mascot, so I ran forward with that bill. And it had to gain traction, and it was making movement, and then my good friend Andrew Johnson called me with respect and said, "Sir, thank you so much for thinking about us, but nothing about us without us." So I put that bill on ice. And we put together a Native American working group of members that were recruited by Andrew and myself from federally recognized tribes. I see some of them here. I want to thank all of you who worked with my office for roughly a year and a half to work on this Native American History Bill. In order for us to know where we're going, we got to truly know where we've been. And the Native American history is in the DNA of this state. And so I was really excited to work with you all on that, and I'm honored that we are here. And then, as I mentioned, I was working with Senator Gloria Kilton with SB 1446, the dress code policy bill. The reason why I wanted to be a part of that was I know how it feels. I'm a politician who also happens to be a preacher, if you couldn't tell. I'm about to be long-winded. But I remember being in high school, being able to wear my cross while I graduated from high school, being able to paint a cross. IAEJ, I put on my hat. It's all about Jesus. That's what I was able to put on mine, and I was able to walk the stage. But Nimki was not. And so this was mainly for me an equal rights for all kind of legislation to ensure that anyone and everyone who wants to showcase who they are and what religion that gets them through the day, they should be able to do it within reason and yet walk the stage. Nimki, I'm really glad that you're here. I don't know if you heard about it. I'll try to get you, a round of applause in the House of Representatives. But if you guys don't mind, he had the bleachers during his graduation. So could we stand up and congratulate him for graduating from high school? And I'll leave you with this. Illinois comes from the Native American word Ohio, which means best people. Back in the day, 10 to 12 tribes collectively would work around a certain region of Illinois, and they called them the best people. So we are literally the best people here in Illinois. And today, after the signing of these bills, we are going to effectively show that the foundation of our state comes from best people too. I may not know all of you, but I love you, and I'm really thankful for this opportunity to be here with you. Let's get this bill signed. And now I'd like to introduce my friend, the chairman, Zeke Rupnick of the Potawatomi Tribe Council.
Bonjour. He's good going. Welcome everybody, and this is a very good day. My name is Joseph Rupnick, Zeke, as some of you know, and I'm the chairman for the Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation. I am a United States Army Cavalry Scout veteran, and I served this country honorably for 13 years. Potawatomi have a long history in the state of Illinois, and I want to welcome you all. Some of you may disagree, but this is still Potawatomi land. I want to welcome you back to Potawatomi land. Right now, we have a bill that's going through Congress, and that bill recognizes a reservation that we have in the state of Illinois by treaty that belonged to my great-grandfather 4 generations removed, Chief Shavney. Hopefully, as things move forward and we ask that the U.S. Congress follow suit or follow the lead that this great state has, that we will get that officially recognized, and there will finally be, once again, a federally recognized tribe in the state of Illinois. But today is a culmination of tremendous strides that this state has made over this last year to repair century-long injustices. Injustices that started with the colonization and in everything to extinguish our people and the origins of this land to which the United States was constructed. With the governor signing these bills into law, Illinois is proving that the government is capable of reflecting on the harmful past and planning for the future that respects and celebrates our interconnectedness. Native tribes have existed since before colonization, and our land, our culture, are the foundations of our society. The bill signed here into law today makes it clear that Illinois understands it is not enough for us to merely exist in a country and a state built on Native American land, but we must be included as part of the society with equal rights and respect. Prairie Band Nation would like to thank Governor Pritzker, Representative Walker, and Representative West, along with Senator Hilton, the former state senator Christina Pacione-Zayas, and Republicans and Democrats that worked across the aisle in the Illinois legislature to get these bills passed. These bills passed overwhelmingly with overwhelming support. These new laws are a milestone in the pursuit of justice and recognition for Native people and our role in this state. Native tribes deserve a space to coexist in our grief and to honor what has been taken away from us from other communities, and the right to mourn our family and those that came before us. Students deserve to learn the truth about our involuntary and voluntary sacrifices for this country, and our youth deserve to celebrate our cultural heritage during the milestones of their lives. Hopefully this state will serve as a model for other states and the U.S. Congress, and the trajectory of this state will be the better for it. I would like to now introduce Jen. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jen Edgington. I'm the interim director of the Illinois State Museum, and I am very proud and humbled to be here with you all. About a year ago, almost to the date, my predecessor at the Illinois State Museum, Cinnamon Gecko, virtually brought together a group of tribal partners to think about reframing what was so-called the burial law into something that is Native-centric and address some of the wrongs that exist and are perpetuated throughout time. One of the most important goals was to have the Illinois State Museum continue our important work with the tribal nations to repatriate and rebury their ancestors and their belongings on the lands in which they were taken. The Illinois State Museum is thrilled to amplify the words and the desires of our tribal partners, and to live in the commitments that we are making, and to prioritize the repatriation of Native belongings, and to continue to work with our tribal partners to tell their histories. The new Human Remains Protection Act is just one step in our commitment to continue to elevate Indigenous voices at the Illinois State Museum and at IDNR. Last year at this time, we also brought on our first Director of Tribal Relations, Heather Miller, who's with us today. And we are currently working via tribal consultation to continue the return of materials to those communities in which they belong. Native people has always been on the land in which we stand. Their stories and their histories are the stories of Illinois. ISM and IDNR are committed to continuing to ensure that Native stories are heard and that we work collaboratively with them. I would like to thank a few people with this. This would not have been possible without our tribal partners, so thank you to each and every one of them who worked with us on our journey, and especially Prairie Band, who is with us today. Thank you. Thank you to the Illinois Department of Natural Resources State Historic Preservation Office, legal and legislative teams, as well as my colleagues at the Illinois State Museum who worked tirelessly on this bill. Thank you to Director Finney of the IDNR and the leadership team as well for giving us support and direction on this incredibly important topic. Thank you to the lawmakers who helped pass these bills, and thank you to Governor Pritzker for your support and continued leadership, especially with working with Indigenous communities. And with that, I'd like to invite Governor Pritzker back up to sign the bills.